Good afternoon. Welcome in to State of the Tigers here on PowerMizzou.com. The whole crew is going to be with you today. I am Gabe DeArmond. Drew King will join me in a moment to talk Missouri basketball. And then we'll have Jarod Hamilton on talking spring football, do a little spring game draft, which I have not prepared for at all. Jarod may have. We'll find that out in 20, 30 minutes when he joins us. Before we get to the guys, I want to remind you that this show is brought to you every week by James Carlton at State Farm Insurance. I actually spent some time on the phone with James this afternoon. He is looking at saving me some money on my car insurance. Drew, who will come in a minute, I know he uses James Carlton for his insurance needs, so you can get in touch with James at carltoninsurance.net. You can call him at 314-961-4800. We highly encourage you guys to do that. James does a fine job. He will take care of you. He will talk a little Mizzou sports with you. He might even tell you how you can help Missouri's NIL efforts going forward. With that, we bring Drew King onto the screen to talk about, well, same thing we've talked about every time we've talked to you in the calendar year of our Lord 2024. Drew, Missouri lost, I don't know, one more basketball game, two more basketball games. I don't remember how many times they played since we did this last.
It's been two. They went to Arkansas, looked pretty good for a minute there, fell apart at the end, and then played against I can't even remember. Florida, thank you. The days are all blending together now.
They're all the same, man.
Played against Florida last night. Had a couple of opportunities to take the lead, but ended up trailing the Gators from tip-off to buzzer. So not a whole lot new for Mizzou at this point. Trent Pierce is back, which that's an update, right? Something different than the last month, but didn't play a ton. But it's good that he's back on the court at least.
Yeah, I believe the final tally last night, Missouri trailed for 39 minutes and 53 seconds. I want everyone to know it is preserved for posterity at 5:24, which is 6 minutes before tip-off yesterday. I posted that Missouri would fall behind by 10. They would at one point get the game back to within one possession, potentially take the lead. Then they would go scoreless for a good long time, and they would lose by 14. It wasn't quite 14. I think the final margin was 9. It really was 11 minus the garbage layup. But that's where we're at. We can write the stories before the games even happen because, I want you guys to know, and if you're watching and have questions, comments, feel free to add them. I know we're doing it at a weird time, so most of you guys are probably going to listen to this on a replay, but that's how the schedule goes today. But I want everybody to know the optimism of youth came out in Drew last night. There was a time where you thought Missouri was winning that basketball game, and I said, no, Missouri is not winning this game. And look, I would have loved for you to be right and me to be wrong, but I was not wrong.
Well, let me tell you why I thought that was the case, right? Because
I'm curious because all evidence we have over the last 2 months tells me you are not going to be correct.
Right. Okay. Because every play, Missouri has the one play where it's not going to happen tonight. And last night, I thought they had the opposite of that. They had a really, really good play that just domino affected its way up to like a lot of good things happening for Mizzou, right? And what happened was Ant Robinson came up with a steal, scored at the other end, got fouled on the and one, right? That ended up being Walter Clayton's fourth foul. Clayton then mouths off to the official and picks up a technical, right? So he's out of the game now with 5. That's Florida's leading scorer. Sean East hits both of his free throws. Ant Robinson misses his, but the team comes up with the offensive rebound, right? So I was like, that is a lot of momentum without any time coming off of the clock, right? And you did see like Florida struggled a little bit after Clayton came off the floor. It took them a couple of minutes to adjust, and Mizzou did cut it down to a 1-point game a couple more times after that. But you were right all along, game. It still didn't matter. Mizzou missed on pretty much every opportunity they had to take the lead, and it ended up being the same game as it always is.
I think it was 55-54. And look, I want to be clear here. I'm not picking on Nick Honor. I thought he played pretty decently last night. I think he gets he hadn't been good this year, don't get me wrong, but he gets more of the heat than he deserves. But wide open corner 3 to take the lead, and it just doesn't go in. And That's the shot this team wants. That's probably the best shot this team can take, other than Sean East dribbling around for 24 seconds and doing some twisting, bank shot. That's the best shot this team can get. It didn't go in. Missouri gets another stop. I don't remember what happened the next possession, but they had 2 straight possessions where they had a chance to take the lead. They didn't do it. And here's the biggest problem with this team. They're not capable of getting more than 2 or 3 stops in a row. In fact, I don't know if they got one in the last 8 minutes, Drew. That defense, and it wasn't about zone, it wasn't about man. Whatever Missouri was doing in the last 8 minutes, regardless of what the approach was, they weren't getting a stop. This is all the offensive problems you want to talk about, this team's defense is a huge issue. They are horrible on defense. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, Florida was 9 for 11 from the field in the last 7 minutes of the game. One of them was a missed 3-pointer, and one of them, I think, was a missed layup on the last possession of the game when it was already decided.
The thing is, they're not hard shots. Like, they're not going 9 of 11 because they're hitting 32-footers like Caleb Battle did, or fadeaway hook shots. These are shots everybody should make. They're 12-foot jump shots and layups and dunks.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I wrote about in my stats that stood out piece, right? Mizzou played that zone for the majority of the game, and it worked for a good while, right? Florida was shooting below their average for the season on 2-point shots. The only guy who was really having success inside was Tyrese Samuel. But yeah, like that.
And he was having a lot.
He was having a lot of success. And credit to Connor Vanover too, because that was probably his best game of the season last night. But down the stretch, he was the guy that they started to go after a little bit. And I think it's fair to say that Connor Vanover is the team's best rim protector. Like, I don't know that anybody's gonna, be more intimidating in the lane.
He's not winning awards for it, but he's better than anybody else on the team.
Exactly. That ended up kind of being the issue, because once Florida figured out that they can bully Connor Vanover in the post, Mizzou didn't have any kind of answer for it. So that ended up being kind of the determining factor of the game. And,
the problem is, and Gates actually finally admitted it in a press conference. I don't know, it's been probably 3 weeks, but he said, look, you just don't know what you can count on. I mean, any given night, Noah Carter didn't score last night, unless I missed. Maybe he scored once late. But, I mean, he was on the floor for like the first 4 minutes, and Dennis Gates had pretty much seen enough. And he was done more. I mean, he contributed nothing. This team only has like 4 or 5 players, really. You can't get nothing out of any of them. And Tamar Bates has had nights like that. Nick Honors had nights like that. I don't really know if Sean East has had a night like that. There haven't been many.
No, not very many at all. And like, you think about it too, like Noah Carter is your 3rd leading scorer on the team.
Right.
So to get nothing from him is a huge blow, right? If he could have hit one of his 3-pointers, Gabe, like that's a guy that Florida suddenly has to start worrying about. Because otherwise you're playing 4-on-5 on offense every trip down the floor. So yeah, like that's been an issue with this team all year long, is the inconsistency.
And last night, what maybe more than any other game this year. Now, I might put Ole Miss in this category. There might be 1 or 2, but like everything you could want to lead to this team winning a game was happening. Sean East was scoring. Connor Vanover was contributing. Your defense had them confused. Their best player fouled out with 14 minutes left. Like, everything last night said, oh my gosh, maybe this is finally the night. And it still wasn't the night. So even when everything goes right, they can't win.
Yeah, and it goes back to like what you were saying before. They couldn't get the stops that they needed. I wrote this down last night. So Mizzou had 5 opportunities where they were within 1 point of Florida. 4 out of those 5 times, Florida scored on the following possession, right? Like, those are spots that you have to come up with a stop, and Mizzou couldn't, right? Florida had an answer for them every single time. So that's just killer for your momentum. So yeah, that's kind of how last night went.
Same story. They play Ole Miss tomorrow night. Look, I think they're home. Sorry, Saturday night. I forget what day it is.
Saturday, yeah.
I feel like they'll start out well because they're at home. So I think they're going to lead by like 6 at the under 12 timeout. And then they'll trail by 2 at halftime. They'll trail by 10 with 12 minutes left. They'll get it back to 3 and they'll get beat. Like, I just write that story now. If you want to save your time on Saturday night, write that exact story right now.
Well, you sent me this tweet last night, and I hope I'm pronouncing this name right, but shouts to Stephen Bubbelow on Twitter. Made a whole list of like where Mizzou was at the 10-minute mark in the second half, like whether how much they were up or down by, and then how much they ended up losing by. And it's single digits just about every single time. Like, they're never out of the game until
but they get outscored
that last
quarter. They give up a run at some point in the last 10 minutes almost every time.
Every single time. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and get that written up in my game story ahead of time.
Cool. All right, so here's what we're going to do in our time with Drew. We're going to run through and answer the basketball questions that we've got, and then we'll play a little game at the end of, over under 0.5. We'll get to that. Answer your questions. Ron Davis says he's not getting fired, right? Look, Dennis Gates would be owed $21.4 million, and he made the NCAA tournament last year and won a game for the first time in 13 years. The chances, to me, are better that he goes 0-18 again next year and still comes back than they are that he gets fired next year or that after this year.
Yeah, and I've been asked
also,
about
who the hell is going to fire him?
Yeah, good question. I keep getting. I've gotten a couple of questions about like how safe is he right now, and I think that people forget if you're going to take this year into account, you have to take in last year into account as well.
They both count.
Yeah, and so he's had one good year and one really, really bad year. I don't think that alone is enough to get him moved out of here. So I think that I've been having this thought, Gabe. I think he's around for at least 2 more years.
If it is a complete disaster next year, like this year is, it is possible. But guys, it's still $17 million after next year, and I'm not sure there's anybody that's going to write that check out there in Mizzou land. Kyle wants to know: are the high school signees expected to be better defenders? So I know Marcus Allen is, right?
Yes.
I would assume Peyton Marshall if you put Peyton Marshall on this team, is he the best interior defender they have today?
I'd say he'd be pretty much on the same level. At least
in the conversation.
Yeah, he'd be in the conference. He's not going to get bullied like they were last night against Florida, right? I don't know that he's mobile enough.
He might foul out.
Right, exactly. But yeah, he's a guy that would help, I think, for sure.
T.O. Barrett, I think they like his defense. I mean, I don't expect T.O. to be a guy that comes in and plays 25 minutes a game next year, but at this point, why the hell not, to be quite honest? And along those lines, Kyle says, over under guys on the roster who come back next year. Where would you set it?
I would set it at, good question. I'll say 3.5.
We're including John Tonje and Caleb Grill in this conversation.
Okay. If that's I'll bump it up to 4.5 then.
I think 4.5 is right. I think I would take the over at 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would take the under at 5.5, but I'm not positive. Because, to me, they're setting this up. And I've said I don't quite understand it and I wouldn't do it. I think they're setting it up to bring Tonje and Grill back.
Mm.
If they aren't, why aren't they playing?
Right. Well, it might just be as a service to both of them to keep their playing careers extended, even if it's not at Mizzou. But
look, man, we ain't playing in the YMCA here. They got to win games next year. And if they think John Tonje and Caleb Grill can do it, that's great. Mm-hmm. But if the reason is we want to do these guys a solid and let them play another year, they don't have to do that here.
Right. And that was my point, Gabe. Just as a service to them, keep your eligibility, even if you're not playing here next season, you can play somewhere else, right? That's kind of my thought in keeping Caleb Grill out at this point. With Tonje, same thing. He just didn't looked like a guy who could compete at this level. And whether that was due to the injury or not, like I think it was fair to give him a red shirt as well.
So it's those two. It's the three freshmen. It's Tamar Bates. I can't see anybody else on this team back next year that has. I mean, Kurt Lewis hadn't played in about 5 games.
Yeah.
I look, if he comes back, good for him. I wish him all the best, and I hope it goes very well. But I just have a hard time having watched this team and watched the rotation, seeing Aiden Shaw back next year.
Right.
And that's it, right? I'm not missing anybody else that's still. I mean, Jesus Carolero has another year. You can't bring him back.
No,
he wants you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Shaw's the only question mark for me, just because like if you give up on him, somebody else might take advantage.
No, right? I'm not saying Missouri is going to give up on him. I'm saying from his point of view, he can't get 6 minutes on this team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he goes to another high major. He might have to drop down a level, but I can't see it. Because the other thing is, you've got to turn over this roster. You've got 5 freshmen coming in. You're looking at, I don't think it works if you only bring in 2 new players.
Yeah. No, it definitely doesn't. No, it definitely doesn't, right? Because then you're going to have to be playing the freshmen some significant minutes that I don't think that they're going to be necessarily ready for, right? Like they might be, but that's a very volatile game that you're playing.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, like I've shied away from talk like this in the past, but we're in the NIL era now. I don't care. We'll talk about it. That most of these kids are getting money. It's fair to talk about whether they should come back or not. So I would go. I'm fine with either Tonje or Grill. I would not personally bring them both back.
Yeah,
I would try to keep Tamar Bates. I mean, I don't know if he's the leading scorer on an NCAA tournament team, but like he's a piece. So I would try to keep him. So we're at 2. And then really you've got the 3 freshmen, and I'm absolutely fine if you bring them all 3 back and they all 3 want to come back. But I don't know that it's catastrophic if you don't.
I would agree with that. And I'm at the point where like I'm not sure you can count on any of them to start next year. Right.
I don't know how you could.
Yeah. So, like, if you do bring them back, you're still looking for guys in the portal that are going to be upgrades over all 3 of them. So, yeah, like, I agree with you. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world for Missouri if any of them decided to move on.
We'll talk about this, I'm sure, more in the offseason. How many starters does he have to get out of the portal?
Oof.
I think it's a minimum of 2.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And honestly, I might say like closer to 3, if not 4. Depending on like if you're bringing Grill or Tonje back and they can take one of those spots on the wing.
Right.
But yeah, I would say minimum 3, honestly.
You need a starting point guard, maybe a starting big.
Yeah.
And a starting kind of wing power forward type guy.
Yeah, and really just like people.
Because basically, you're counting on Bates and either Grill or Tonje to start.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought there. And then like, I think somebody who can get rebounds is an absolute must for this team, either at the power forward or the center spot.
I'll say this too: if by midseason, Trent Pierce and Jordan Butler and maybe even Honor Boateng are not in a position to play starters minutes, not start, but starters minutes, I will be disappointed in it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, even we can throw Ant in the conversation a little bit, like, because he'd be going into his 3rd season after this. Like, you want to see the development out of those guys. And if not, then it might be time to move on. But Honor Boateng specifically, like as high as he's ranked, I do think that he's somebody that they're looking at hoping to play a significant amount of minutes next season. So, you want to see him challenge at least for one of those starting spots.
All right, so we're going to wrap up with Drew with this. So, Jarod, if you're listening, get ready. You can be up in a minute or two. We're going to wrap up with this. Over under Missouri wins the rest of the year, Drew. 0.5.
I am an optimist by nature, so I'll say over.
Which one?
Like
they've only got 4.
Right. So I would think that Ole Miss this weekend is going to be their best opportunity. You're playing at home. You only lost to the Rebels by 3 points on the road. You came up really, really close against Florida this past game. You've gone toe-to-toe with Tennessee. Like, I think that it's do or die time. So I'll say this upcoming game, they're going to get a win.
Did Ole Miss beat Bama last night?
They did not.
Okay, they were up like 14 at one point. All right, so I'm also going to go over, but here's how I'm going to go over.
Okay.
They're going to go 0-18 in the regular season. And then they're going to play 11th-seeded Georgia in the first round of the SEC tournament. And they're going to win that game because they're going to make you stay in Nashville another day, and they're going to make me pay for another day in Nashville to cover a team that finishes 1-19 in 20 SEC. Because that's the way this season's gone.
I could see it happening, to be honest. And it honestly, like, given how some of these games have gone, they get that momentum going and upset another team in the next round.
No, they're not beating whoever finishes 6th, because whoever finishes 6th is an NCAA tournament team. That's not going to happen. 1 is the limit in the SEC tournament. But all right, so we are going to let Drew exit stage bottom. I don't know.
Wait,
Drew,
did we want to?
Right. We do have one more guest prediction, correct, on whether Missouri's going to win a game or not?
I went and fished out my Magic 8 Ball, so I didn't know if we wanted to see what it said. So Magic 8 Ball, will Missouri win a game before the end of the season? Here we go. Drum roll. Oh, no. Oh, it's on the line. Okay. It says, this is big, Gabe. Okay. It is certain.
It is certain. All right. So you can hold Drew responsible if they don't win a regular season game. You can hold me and the Magic 8 Ball responsible if they don't win any games. So, all right, man. Well, Drew, we'll let you go. We'll catch up with you next time. And you guys, if you have any football questions, Jarod Hamilton now going to come on the screen. Feel free. I know we've got a couple. We've got a little exercise we're going to do to entertain you in this show. Jarod, I already said I did 0 research for this draft we're going to do. Did you do any at all?
Actually, I've been typing out, just the positions, who's there. I feel like I've got a good handle on most of the roster, to be honest. Okay. So I'll help you out and give you options if you're stuck. It's like just.
I think you're going to have a big advantage on me. So let's real quick. If you've got some football questions, we've already got one I'm going to put up here. If you've got a couple other football questions, we'll get to those first and give me a minute to find my page for the draft. But Jarod, you're first here. Dustin wants to know, the football team is guaranteed to make the playoff. They're also guaranteed to lose in the second round. Would you rather win the SEC, get a bye, and lose in the second round, or would you rather play in the first round, win it, and then lose in the second round? Easily, so in one scenario, you've got an SEC title game. In the other scenario, or an SEC title. In the other scenario, you've got a first-round playoff win.
First-round playoff win. Because you can bring recruits to that. You can show off. You can do so much for, not obviously just the school, but the city as a whole. You can bring in so much going on. So absolutely if it was be a 4 or 5 seed, and I was listening to
give me the 5.
I forgot what podcast. Wetzel and I can't think of the name. Yeah, but they were talking about Notre Dame and how the way they've worked it out is they can't, since they're not in the conference, they can't win. They can't be a top 4. But if you're number 5 and you get to play, the group of 5 team, yeah, you take that. You're not.
I agree.
You take that.
I'd rather have the playoff win, even though, look, it would be a big thing to be able to show that SEC trophy off and hang a new banner and all that.
Conference championships mean a little bit less now.
I agree. I'd take the playoff win. So here's what we're going to do, guys. The spring football game this year, I have been told they're planning to draft teams and play a game. So what we're going to do is we're going to each draft a team. That means we each get it. We're just going to share a kicker and a punter. Like we ain't wasting time with kickers and punters. We share them, returnmen. We share those guys, long snappers, all that. But we're going to draft one guy at each position. So that means we each are going to draft 22 players and come up with a team. So Jarod, do you have anything to write or type with that you could actually like get together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
write them down, post them on the board afterwards, ask people whose team wins.
Okay, quick question. So we're gonna do a snake draft. So
yep.
And you've already said I can go first, which means you'll get 2 consecutive picks, and then
I'll get second and third.
Yeah. Okay, so are we doing this like you can draft anybody on the roster when you want to, or are we just gonna go like position?
Oh no, you can do whatever you want. Like you want to take an offensive guard round 1, you take an offensive guard. All you got to do is come up with 22 guys, which I guess means, hey, you want to draft 3 quarterbacks, so I don't have one. Cool, but 2 of them are going to be playing wide receiver for you.
Okay, and we're not doing so. I guess Sam Horn and Isaac Thompson for this exercise, since they're not at spring ball, or the guys who are not here yet and will come in the summer, are not available for this draft.
Yeah, I mean, look, you want to draft Sam Horn and have him throw left-handed, I'm cool with it. But we're drafting them in their current condition.
Correct. Okay.
To play a spring game in 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I was nice. I gave Jarod the first pick.
I'm
pretty confident who I know the first pick.
No, here's the thing. I feel like by you doing that, the first pick is forced on me, and you get the best. The second and third.
Okay, look, if you want to switch and give me the first pick, that's fine. That's your call. I'll let you choose what you want to do.
I feel like you gotta. I know how you gotta build a team up. I just know I'm gonna be hurt when you pick your first round picks.
Well, look, I think we know who the first 2 players picked are.
Yeah.
And I think we know the order. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hope you take the guy I'm going to take first. But you go ahead to your first pick.
It's Brady Cook.
Has to be. Because you now have Brady Cook and I have Aiden Glover as my quarterback. Like I'll draft him in the 22nd round. I'm not drafting him yet, but.
Oh, okay. You're going to come back.
End up with, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So you take Brady Cook. Obviously, I got to take Luther Burton. Like he's the best football player on this team. So that's my first pick. Now second pick, it gets tougher.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to go, but I feel like I'm thinking about taking another receiver.
I know you are. I know.
In a bad spot.
I know you are.
But I don't. Man, this is tough. I got a lot of dudes that. Let's go. All right, I'm going to go opposite. I need to get a pass rush. I want Johnny Walker.
Okay, let me write that. Johnny Walker. Good pick. For me, I got two too, but I feel like I need to get mine now. So I'll get Theo East. And I happened to see him at practice yesterday. We already know what his connection is, Brady and Luther's connection is. It looks even a little bit more crisp with Theo too. And they were already, pretty good last year. So I'll take Theo.
Did you get another one then?
Then let me get. I'm taking Caden Green. Let's get that. Oh yeah, that was gonna be. It was even. Oh yeah, I need that. So
that was my next pick. So since you've taken Caden Green, I'm going Armand Nimbo for sure as my next pick.
I know I can't get both of them.
And I was going to take both of them. I thought you would.
Oh no, I'm thinking.
I'm gonna build up. That line of scrimmage. I want Christian Williams.
Okay. So I'll take. It's next to me. I'll take. Wait. So are we doing? Wait. This is how I have it written now. Quarterback, halfback, 3 wide receivers, 5 offensive
Tight
linemen,
end.
tight end. Am I missing somebody?
No, that's
Okay.
it. That's 11.
Oh, well, let me get Norfleet then since I said tight end out loud.
Yeah,
I was
he was going to be gone if you waited.
yeah, say Norfleet. And I get another one. Let me get I'll take Speedy Johnson right here.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Killing me.
We are thinking today.
Killing me. Oh, that's no good. So you got 2 starting receivers in the tight end. You got nobody to block for him. Well, you got Caden Green. He just got to stand there all by himself.
Oh yeah, good.
All right. So that means it's back to me. I feel like I've got a chance to have a dominant defense here.
No, I looked at your thing and I'm thinking I know what I'm trying to do, but I know what you're going to do to combat it. So
yeah, I don't have to take a tight end or a quarterback because you've already got those. You're not taking another one. So I'm just going. I'll lock down the outside and I'm going Dre Norwood and Toriano Pride for my 2 picks.
All right, that's
I'm just
nice.
gonna have the whole starting defense, and you're gonna have Brady Cook and Theo Weiss.
Okay, we'll see about that one. We'll see. Now, what's funny is when it's time for you to get on offense and you don't know who's going to be blocking for Aiden Glover, your freshman quarterback.
I got Armand Mimbo. We're in good shape.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. I'll take. Let me get Tristan Newsom for one of them. And let's see if I go back on the line. I'll take. I feel like I don't really have much of a choice. I'll take Connor Tollison.
Okay. That was going to be one of mine. So I got to go offensive line too before you kill me. I'll go Cameron Johnson for one of my picks.
All right.
I don't honestly know who their backup center is. Do you?
Is it Talon or Talon Chandler? I haven't said his name.
It could be Drake Heisman.
Drake Heisman. Yeah, I was about to say, but
yeah, that's not where I'm going to go.
Play guards or center.
I'm going to go Cameron Johnson and Javen Richardson. I've got 3 linemen. I'll figure out somebody that can snap it down the road.
Javen. Now you want Javen as a guard, a tackle? Or...
I just want him as a lineman. I don't know. I just get 5 linemen. I'm going to teach one of them to snap.
Okay, I got you. All right. Let me go ahead and easy. I don't know why this guy wasn't picked earlier. It's probably my bad. I'll take Dalen Carnell.
Okay. That's
good. I'll take you kind of took the defensive. You took Williams and Walker.
I got Williams and Walker, yeah.
Okay. I'll grab Nate Noel actually. And
okay.
That's probably a little biased because of what I've seen, what his hands was looking like in practice. You can already tell what his role is going to be. And he's really quick already, but he's got to he's definitely a receiving back. Like if they split him out and said, let's motion you out into the slot or whatever, I can see him doing that. So even though I think probably, Marcus Carroll is going to be that first string, I like Nate Noel.
Okay. And then you got another one still, right?
No, I picked Carnell first.
Oh, you picked Dalen Carnell. Right. Yeah. So where do I go? I could get my receivers, and I could also just dominate this defensive line.
Good.
And so give me – all right, I already got Walker and Williams, right?
Correct.
I want Darius Smith and Chris McClellan. I might have the entire starting defensive line on my team.
Pretty much. Darius Smith and Chris McClellan. Okay. That's good. I'll take, because I don't even have, I'll take
I'm playing with no linebackers, by the way.
You're
I'm just not going to draft any, I guess.
yeah, we can see what your line is going to be looking like. Took Mimble. I got Green. I got Tollison. You took Johnson.
Yeah. But we're into backup linemen now.
Yeah, that's the point I'm getting to. I'll take Tristan Wilson because I'm gonna need a guard at some point, and I'll take Mookie Cooper.
He was going to be on my team. He was going to be my next pick. All right, so he's off the board. So that leaves me. So you've got 3 wide receivers now, right?
Weiss, Johnson, and Cooper. Yep.
All right, so I don't need to worry about that. I don't need to take those guys yet. So I got to get me a linebacker. I got to go Chuck Hicks on my team. Okay. And then I need a linebacker. I need safety. I need offensive line. I'll go ahead and take Corey Flagg as my second linebacker.
All right. Okay. So, well, I'm gonna double up on safety right now and take Burks and Roche actually.
Burks and Roche. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out. I got to go back to offensive line because I think that's the only place where like we both still need players.
Yeah.
All right. So give me Logan Reichert, and I got to either take Drake Heismeyer or teach somebody to snap. So give me Drake Heismeyer as my backup center.
All right. It's good. Okay, so that's your picks. Okay, let me get. You've already got defense.
How many spots we got left to fill here? Like 7 spots, maybe something like that.
8.
Okay.
8. So let me get cornerback. So I'll take Marcus Clark for one of my corners, and I'll take Zion Young as one of my defensive linemen. I mean,
I kind of forgot about him because here's why: I don't have him on the scholarship chart. So that's a mistake on my part. Yeah.
Okay. So
I think I'll go ahead and get my safeties, and I'll take Joseph Charleston and. Well, here's the weird thing. Okay. Give me Joseph Charleston and Tre'Vez Johnson.
Oh, wow. I knew when I picked Roche, I was thinking a little bit of project. I mean, I just thought Joseph Charleston, forgot about Tre'Vez.
Well, he's 29 years old. I get how you could forget about it.
I was just thinking we got young guys out here, people that want to see play. It slipped. I probably would have went Tre'Vez. No disrespect to Philip. So I'll take Brayshawn Littlejohn, another linebacker, guy they hope that can kind of work his way into the rotation at some point this year. I'm thinking defensive lineman.
You got Gracial, you got Jalen Marshall, you got Kai Montgomery, you got Sterling Webb, Ja'Kai Lang, Sam Williams.
Got some big boys in there. So I'll go with who played last year? I think Marquise Gracial got in versus.
He played a little. Yeah.
At least he got in. So I'll go Gracial.
Okay.
I forgot. I felt like I just said someone before that. Did I not?
No, I don't think you made an actual pick.
No, Brayshawn.
You talked about how you should have taken. You took Littlejohn. Right. So I think we're kind of at the point now where like we're only drafting positions the other guy already drafted. I'm gonna finish out my starting defense. This is the only spot I'm missing.
It's
Give me
safety.
Sidney Williams.
Yeah.
And then I'll take Marcus Carroll on the other side.
Value there. Now, if we was really playing dangerous, this was fantasy football, I would have definitely blocked some of these picks, even if I got the position.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Definitely would have blocked some of that. But it's like I know I need 2 more offensive linemen. It's just like I don't know where to go. And I don't have all of my picks, everything I'm doing has been off the top. I wasn't even thinking to use a scholarship chart like you, which is very heady, Gabe. Very
hey, this is saying my first. It's not just a hat rack, my friend.
I'll take Mitchell Walters. He's got some experience, and I'll take. I guess another young. I'll take Brandon Solis.
Okay.
We're filling it out now to see what these guys can do now.
Brandon Solis is going to get that education lineup across from Johnny Walker on my team this spring.
No.
So, look, I know I still need 2 wide receivers. So I get Mekhi Miller and Josh Manning.
Josh Manning yesterday at practice. He's got a strong set of hands.
I thought you were going to say he got hurt, and I was like, well, he's on my team now. So.
Oh no. And Mekhi Miller, it's route running. It's really good. All right, so for me,
what do you got left? You need a defensive tackle, I feel like.
I need 2 defensive linemen, a cornerback, and that's it. So, defensive linemen. So, yeah, I guess I'll go Jalen Marshall and cornerback.
No Sterling Webb, huh?
No, that's who I'm. Let me see. Do you already have cornerback filled? You do.
Yeah, I took the top 2 corners.
Okay, yeah. So I can go back and get who I want there. So yeah, I'll take. No, I already got 2 defensive tackles. I need a defensive end. So let's go. Yeah, let's go Ja'Kai Lang then.
Okay. All right. So I know my last pick is going to be my quarterback. I need a tight end. I want Jordan Harris.
Listen, y'all, his arms. This guy's a tank. Oh man.
This is my last pick, right?
Correct.
I could go Tommy Locke just to be different, but I'll go the true freshman scholarship guy. I'll take Aiden
Glover. Okay. Aiden Glover, 3-star. And I'll finish up my cornerback room. It's really a toss-up. You can choose either one. I'm trying to think about what I saw at practice yesterday.
Look, I saw Shamar McNeil. That kid looks big, man.
He's tall.
He's tall. Rangy.
That's who I'm gonna go with. Shamar McNeil, 6'3" corner. Don't really see those a lot, but yeah, I believe that's my last pick. So
I feel like that's it, right?
Yeah. So let me go ahead and read the rosters real quick, and you guys kind of decide. So I've got Brady Cook, Nate Noel, Theo Weiss, Speedy Johnson, Mookie Cooper, Brett Norfleet, Caden Green, Brandon Solis, Connor Tollison, Tristan Wilson, Mitchell Walters. On defense, Zion Young, Jalen Marshall, Marquise Gracial, Ja'Kai Lang, Tristan Newsom, Brayshawn Littlejohn, Shamar McNeil, Marcus Clark, Dalen Carnell, Marvin Burks, and Philip Roche. Go to Gabe's side. Got Aiden Glover, Marcus Carroll, Luther Burden, Joshua Manning, Mekhi Miller, Jordan Harris, Armand Mimbu, Javen Richardson, Drake Heismeyer, Cameron Johnson, Logan Reichert. Defense, Johnny Walker, Christian Williams, Chris McClellan, Darius Smith, Corey Flagg, Chuck Hicks, Drayden Norwood, Toriano Pride, Joe Charleston, Trevez Johnson, and Sidney Williams.
So here's what's going to happen. Brady Cook going to have nightmares about my defense. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Luther Burden in the Wildcat, put Aiden Glover out at receiver, and just hope it goes well, man.
Oh no. So I think it's much more even than I was thinking this was going to go, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it's fairly even. I think, obviously, you have a huge edge at quarterback. So once I knew I mean, the first pick was always going to be quarterback, like you said. So I went defense at that point.
Makes sense. We're throwing the ball a lot. We're making this a Madden game. I do like
my
like
defensive line going against 4 backup offensive linemen, man. I feel good.
Well, look, we both got 2 starting linemen apiece. But you're saying, you got the defensive line.
Here's
I'm
the thing. Here's
I'm
the thing.
not.
You can't. Your team can't win if it can't score.
I hear you.
My team also might not score, but
listen, we throwing the check downs to Nate Noel if we got to. We throwing the out routes to Theo Weiss, the comebacks. That's his thing. We get in that red zone. It's over. And then I got Speedy Johnson. We're doing the little jet sweep, the reverses, the drags.
Brady gonna throw that F at Marquise down there somewhere a couple times.
Oh, absolutely. And I got Brent Norfleet. So if we got a chip block you we're willing to do it. I like the team.
Well, there you go. So when we get done, Jarod gonna post those teams on the board. Just let people look at them. Say, all right, here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. Appreciate all you guys who managed to join us live here on Thursday afternoon. Appreciate you being here. Before you leave, like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. If you listen on the podcast, which I'll put up shortly, leave us a nice comment, say good things. Appreciate you guys being here. We will be back. Probably will be next week. We'll see how it goes. Hey, anytime anything can happen, we might have to jump on and do a show. But appreciate you guys hanging out. Want to remind you to get in touch with my friend James Carlton at Carlton Insurance in Webster Groves. If you're in the state of Missouri or the state of Illinois, he wants to take care of your life, home, auto, anything he can do for you. CarltonInsurance.net, 314-961-4800. Again, I talked to James this afternoon. He will work with you. He will work around your schedule and set up a time that you guys can talk about what you need for insurance. So get in touch with James. Go vote for my team, only my team on the message board. If you're going to vote for Jarod's team, log off for the day. Go hang out on Twitter. Go out in the sun. Do something else. But appreciate you guys. Talk to you next time.